And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday. It's the 4th of March, 2022. 1933, on this day, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was inaugurated, having won in a landslide over Herbert Hoover. At the inauguration, Roosevelt was careful to hide the extent to which he'd been crippled by polio. There was a series of wheelchair ramps hidden behind barriers at the Capitol. He walked the last few yards, leaning heavily on the arm of his son James, and he made it look easy, even though it took great strength. His inaugural address included the famous phrase, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." And so it was on this day, 1933, that Frances Perkins took her post as U.S. Secretary of Labor, first woman to serve in the cabinet. She was a New Yorker. She had witnessed the horrible Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, New York City, 1911. 150 garment workers died. And she made workplace safety her first political cause when she went to work for Roosevelt, then governor of New York. Many union leaders did not like the idea of a woman Secretary of Labor, and to blunt their opposition, Frances Perkins dressed like an older woman. She used no makeup, made it a point to stay quiet during meetings, not interrupt people. But she worked to do away with child labor and bring in the 40-hour workweek and the Federal Labor Standards Act and Social Security. And it's the birthday of Khaled Hosseini, born in Kabul in 1965, author of the runaway bestseller The Kite Runner, sold more than 12 million copies around the world, came out in 2003. He was the son of a diplomat, an affluent family that immigrated to this country around the time of the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. They landed in San Jose when Khaled was 12. They had nearly nothing. They had to go on welfare. His father, the diplomat, found work as a driving instructor in San Jose, and Khaled Hosseini set out to make a career that would earn some income. He went off to medical school, made it through his residency. He was an internist, and then he began to think about writing, which he had always meant to do. He got up at 5 every morning so he could write for 2 hours before he went to the hospital. He wrote about his memories of Afghanistan, an autobiographical story about a friendship between an 8-year-old boy, the son of a diplomat, and one of the family servants, an illiterate man from an ethnic minority group. The boy teaches the servant to read and write, and the servant teaches the child to fly kites. The book came out, and it was so phenomenally successful that Khaled Hosseini had a hard time writing his second one. But it came out in mid-2007, 1,000 Splendid Sons, a story narrated by 2 Afghani women, Miriam and Layla. A very different book with a lot of main characters and multi-generational, told from alternating points of view. It was the best-selling book in Britain in 2008. Here's a poem for today by Liesl Mueller, Paper-White-Narcissus. Strange how they got their name. A boy, barely a man, looked into sunlit water and saw himself so beautiful he spent his life pursuing that treacherous reflection. There is no greater loneliness. Here they are, risen from the darkness of the pebbled pool we have made for them in a dish, risen and broken through the long green capsules to show us their faces. They are so delicate, they invite protection or violation, and they are blind. A poem by Liesl Mueller, Paper-White-Narcissus, from Alive Together, published by Louisiana State University Press and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.